video I'm going to show you the new editing function for palettes in ChromaMagic 4. Now this is for if you want to use the mixing suggestions in ChromaMagic 4 and match the paints that are in your palette to your actual palette paints, so you get more accurate recommendations. Okay, and we made a bit of painting afterwards because I get fed up with all this nerdy stuff. I want to get the brushes out. Okay, so let's go over to the easel and we'll start. Okay, so here we are at the easel. I've got ChromaMagic up. This is our lovely rose reference. So I've got bits of paint on the screen as usual. And if you're using this, it's best for selecting colours and showing you the colours in a way that's useful for us as painters. So if I want to know the colour of, say, the outside of this rose, I click on it, it will show you the exact image colour. It will show you this in Munsell notation, which is a reduced colour set. There could be like 17 million colours in here, and this reduces it down to 1600. And then the best thing about ChromaMagic is it not only shows you, this is of limited use, I mean it shows you a colour, yeah, right. This is the best bit. It shows you the colour in context, and it shows you, you can see immediately it's an orangey red. And these are the values down here, so the darkest is 0, which is black, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10, which is white. Shows you it's a very high value, value 9. And the final thing, which is something that I missed out on for a long time, is it shows you the chroma. So these are all the same values of the same hue, but they decrease in chroma. So this one here is what our actual colour is, and it's light. It actually tells you what it is. It's a very light grey red, which is actually what it is. It looks like peach, but a peach is a light low chroma red, and this is a mid chroma, so this is the same value. It actually looks darker, but it isn't. It's the same value, but it's a higher chroma. You can see it's a lot more peachy. That's less chroma, but they're all the same value. So we can click around here, and so this is in the middle. This is a beautiful rich red. It's down here. You see it's got higher chroma. It's lower value, and it's a slightly pink, more pinky red. Oh no, it's not. No, it's the same. I'm wrong. It's the same red. Lower in value and then higher in chroma. Very rich, deep red. And then you've got one somewhere in the middle, which we pick here. And that's a lovely dusky red. It's a mid value. It's value 5, value 6 actually. It's a mid chroma, but that's also red. They're all reds, but they're all different values and they're all different chromas. And ChromaMagic will tell you that, and it just makes so much difference in your color mixing and your color representation in your paintings. But anyway, once you have a color, let's do this mid one actually while we're here. Now, if you click on, you can either click on the image color. It's slightly different because, you know, this is a reduced color set. Let's do the actual color. It's a mid value and a mid chroma red, and there's this mix button here, and if you click it, it will give you a set of recommendations, suggestions. I'm calling them suggestions. They're not going to be 100% accurate. They're suggestions, are good starting points. And these are each of the suggestions. This is the closest it can get. It's the second closest, and then you can scroll down down to the bottom. And I don't usually pick, the top one is actually a mixture of red, blue and yellow. I generally don't pick those because that's not how I mix. So this second one is probably one I would start with because it's got the hue, which is a red, but it's an orangey red. So that would be these two together. But we know it's slightly darker than that mix will probably be, and it's slightly less chroma. So these two will be the hue, and then we'll take the chroma down with the burnt sienna brought up to a value 6. So that's the one I would use. Now, it just turns out that this selection of paints in the ChromaMagic palette works out for this colour. There are some other preset palettes in here. There's the Paul Foxton palette. I know Paul Foxton's teachings were the inspiration basically for this app. And he uses it a lot in his teaching, and he has a lot of information about color mixing, well worth searching out. And there's a Foxton palette, there's a Zorn palette, which is a reduced palette, red, yellow, blue, cyan, magenta, yellow, and then this is my one, which I use mostly. And it has a selection of paints. So if you click the select paints, these are all the colors on the palette, and you can turn them on and off, because there are some colors in here that I don't use apart from in certain situations. So like a cobalt teal, I don't use that very often unless I'm mixing a very bright green. So I will turn that off by default. Similarly for dioxazine purple, I don't really use dioxazine purple. It's a beautiful color. It's very high chroma, but I generally only use it to get, usually in flowers actually, for getting very high chroma purples. So you can switch them off and select them. Now, in ChromaMagic 3, you were just stuck with this set of paints. Now you can edit each palette, which is why we have this nice edit button next door to it. And if we press edit, we go into the palette editor, which is full screen. And these are all the paints. And if you tap on one, I think it'll tell you, so it's Michael Harding, and it'll tell you the Munsell and the RGB if you really want to know that. But say we want to add in or maybe take out a paint, press the edit button, and now if you want to remove them, there's little crosses on them, you can take them out. You can rename your palette. Let's just call it ChromaMagic, like so. And then if we want to add in new paints, this is the full database of, these are all oil paints. I use this for watercolor as well. I think it works fine for watercolor, maybe not perfectly, but it does work. And then you can add in extra colors. Let's add in, what have we got in here? Let's add in a phthalo blue. Now you could search through them all, but we don't really want to do that. So let's type in a phthalo. There we go. And then you'll get all the different phthalos. And then if we want to reduce it further, why does that say phthalates? Okay. Thank you. Makes that work. Okay. And then you can reduce it by brand if you want. Let's do a Michael Harding. There we go. So these are all the Michael Harding paints with phthalo in the name. And then we can select one, or another thing we can do is we can select by hue. So we've got red, yellow, green, yellow, etc, etc, etc. Let's go down to purple, blue. Take out the filter, and that will show you all the paints in the database that are in the purple, blue hue. There we go. Okay, so let me just show, let's just add one of these in. Phthalo turquoise, how about that one? Let's add that one in. Just press it, it'll be highlighted in green. It appears here. Save it, gives you a nice little, what do they call those? Dialogue, confirmation maybe. And then come out of that, and there's your phthalo turquoise now in your palette. If you just want it there, just to be handy, you can just unselect it and it won't be included in any of the mixes. I'm just going to take that out again because I don't actually want phthalo turquoise in there. Okay, great. There we go. So there we go. So oh, another thing, if you want to create your own palette, so these are the pre-cooked palettes, as it were, but you can select your own. You can edit it, you can edit the name, new palette, let's call it new palette 1. And then you can add in all your paints to your heart's content. Let's just add in a few just to show you it works. A red and a yellow. I'm not going to use this palette, There we go, new palette, and then save him. There we go, new palette 1, come out, and there we go, there's our new palette. And again, you can toggle these on and off. All right, and finally, if you get bored with a palette, you can delete it. There we go. Defaults back to whatever's the first one in the list, which is Foxton here. Okay. So there you go, that's the palette editing feature. Now I did say we'd do some painting. Let's have a look at these mixes. Let's do this one here, actually. So this lovely mid-value red. And we might play around with the selection of paints we've got in here. Now one thing I am going to do, I'm going to switch over to my phone. I like the iPad because it appears nice and big on the screen when I'm showing things, but I think we can see most things from the phone. So I'm going to put that to one side. And bring up the phone. There we go. Now he's a little bright. Now we'll do the calibration trick. I'm just going to bring him back. I want to bring the brightness down. So brightness of the screen matches the lightest value I have. That's about right. I think that's okay. Let's do that. So the lightest value that will be shown on the screen will be as light as the lightest value we have. Okay, now where was this mid value? Nice dusky pink. That's a value 6. Let's do this one. Now I think my palette on this is slightly different. Let me just see what paints we have in here. Okay, it's almost the same. It's almost the same. That's fine. So, but we're not going to. I know I've brought this up. We're going to have a think about this color before we mix it. So it's a mid value and it's a mid chroma red, and it's kind of an orangey red. It's almost a peach, yes, but it's a dusky peach. It's a lovely color, I have to say. So I'm going to think about what we need to do to mix it. Now it's an orangey red. Now I have a pinkish red and I have an orangey red, so I'm probably going to be in the middle of those. So I'm gonna go for the hue first. So I'm going to mix my orangey red and my pinkish red. You might need a bit of yellow in there, you might not, but that's my hue. I've got some strips of scrap paper. I'm just going to put this on and show you what it looks like. Right, now if we look at that, I think the value is about right. But you can see that the hue is probably close. But the chroma this is much, much more saturated than that. So we need to bring the chroma down. So we think the hue is about right. How do we bring the chroma down? Well, we could add some grey of the same value. Let's try that. If this were oil paints, I'd probably think about maybe some raw umber. But with the watercolor, we can risk some grey. I'm going to add in a little bit of neutral tint. Now, this is straight from the wells, so you can see it's getting lower chroma, but as it's dark it's also getting lower in value. I'm just going to add in a little bit of water just to bring that value back up again. And there we go. That's not bad actually, is it? There we go. I think I would be happy with that. We'd be good to go with that one. Yeah. I'd be happy with that. So we didn't have to do too many steps. We had to think about the hue. Now we know what the hue is. It's red, slightly orangey red. We can see that. You can see that here. You can kind of see it on these charts. You don't even need to worry about what does it say? It is 7.5R. Who cares? You can just see it from the charts. Let's do another. Oh yeah, let's see what the mixes said. Let's see what the mixes said. Okay. So this is interesting. So let's look at these. What's this? I generally, when I look at these, I look for the simplest one. Yeah, that might work. It's close. So this is the target color on the left side of this lozenge, and then what the computer thinks it is on the right hand side. It's close. it won't be 100% accurate. We're trying to mix physical things on a phone in real time. It's not going to be perfect. So burnt sienna and pyrrole red. So my pyrrole red is going to be my mix of kind of slightly pinky red, isn't it? It's going to be my pyrrole. Bring that up to the right value. We know that is too high chroma. And then it says some burnt sienna. Is that too much? Maybe too much. Now that's going to bring down the chroma. I'm going to bring up the value. It's going to bring down the chroma, and we're going to bring down the value. I think this is going to be 2. Right. I don't know. It's not bad, actually. Bring that back. I think it's slightly high in chroma. I don't know, actually. That's not bad, is it? You know, I think mine is actually the one I did was slightly low in chroma. It's slightly high. But, you know, that's not bad. But that's generally how I think about when I look at these mixes. Which colours will it need to have the hue? What do I need to do to make the value right? And then what do I need to do to make the chroma right? These proportions, don't follow these blindly. They are a guide. I've called these colour mixing suggestions for a reason. They're not exact recipes. So shall we try another one in here? Let's try this one. Let's try this one. I wouldn't use this one. I generally shy away from ones that use mixes of the 3 red, blue and yellow primaries, because controlling the chroma can be tricky because you tend to swing the hue at the same time. But we'll try this. See how it looks. Let me just wipe this up. Okay, but we're going to do the same procedure. We're going to think about the hue first, then we're going to think about the value, then we're going to think about the chroma. Now the hue is an orangey red, which is going to be red and yellow, slightly more red than yellow, which is not surprising. So I know I'm mixing my 2 reds, but I'm mixing them so I get this one. I know I should edit my palette and put the right ones in, but I haven't done that. Okay, and then it's going to be a little dark, just a little water, just to bring that up in value. Now we're going to add in some, what does that say? It is ultramarine. Now this it's going to make it purple, I think, isn't it? Let's see what it does. If it were a pure orange, it would be a compliment. Now we're kind of grey it down. Now that, I think, is too red. Whoops, that's going to be too, oh no. And because blue is dark, I'm just adding in a bit of water back to bring the value back. This isn't going to be right, but we can adjust it. Okay. It's not bad. You know, I think the chroma's right. The hue is ever so slightly off. The value's not bad. And doing it this method, if you've got the value right and the chroma right, it's slightly too purple. It needs to go slightly towards yellow, which we can easily do by adding in some yellow. Okay, I'm not going to adjust the value because the yellow is quite light. How's that? It's not bad, is it? Maybe a bit more. So actually that did work. It did work, it's quite nicely. Cool. So there we go. Did our mixing. We've edited our palette. And we've done used two different recipes to get to the same colour. Great. Well, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.